Chat, here we go. We got Kv1 versus Bemmz. A 1v1 that I have been excited to run for a while. I've been trying to get Bemmz into a show match ever since I saw him rise high up in the 1v1 scene. Mostly on that 1v1 leaderboard. I haven't seen him play too many show matches or tournaments, but a lot of players are excited about what Bemmz can do on the field. In fact, Kv1's old team, the club that he played with in the RLCS, went to Worlds with, and they performed well, ended up actually replacing him with Bemmz. So Bemmz, a very exciting up-and-coming player. I was, I'll be honest, very surprised at the time because Kv1, not only is he a talented player, he's also a very young, talented player. Normally the kind of player you want to get on your team and keep around for a while. Until I found out Bemmz is pretty much the same thing. Bemmz also a very talented, young South American player who also seems to hold his own in 1v1. So we'll see how he does against Kv1. I don't think this is a grudge match just because that replacement happened. I think that grudge match was settled at the previous major where Team Secret, Kv1's team, made it into the top 4 and the club did not make it quite as far. So I think that has all been settled. Now these guys, I'm sure, never had beef in the first place. You never know why these movements might happen. But Kickoff V1, as Vakina says in chat, has so far shown that he continues to be Kickoff V1. Up 3-0, he's going to make it 4-0. He is just running the scoreline up. He currently has his name as Kv1, the final boss, and that might be true. He might be the final boss of South America right now because Yan and Card are both in Miami. They're in the US. So as far as players still playing in South America, Kv1 has to be the final boss. You have Wisty as well, who has shown to perform well in 1v1s, and then I think Bemmz is right in the conversation with them. So I wanted to see, where does Bemmz stand against a guy like Kv1? And the first minute would tell you that Bemmz is miles away, but I don't think that's true. I don't know if this is potential nerves starting off in a show match. I mean, you never know what these guys have and haven't played before. Maybe he's played a ton of matches like this, but even though he's played RLCS, 1v1 can be a bit different. You never know. He's going to get his first goal. Seeing that 0 turn to a 1 might be all he needs to get started here. As he controls this kickoff and double jumps it over the top of Bemmz, which is not an easy, sorry, over the top of Kv1, which is not an easy thing to do. Win the kickoff very much against Kv1, especially not consistently. He's won 2 in a row, and hey, this is essentially the same exact thing. Even though this kickoff goes back into the orange half, he controls it first, and Kv1 knows one thing, that's drive at ball. Drive at ball, attack ball at all times. And Bemmz, aware of that, getting early movement and not letting Kv1 close the distance. Kv1 to the air. Bemmz pre-jumping in defense and needs to be careful, but he is. As he takes this ball to the other half. He touches too strong. He's not going to be able to get a goal, but he did it just right to follow it up for his third. It's 3 straight now for Bemmz after a 5-0 run for Kv1. Kv1 slowly working his way towards the net. Wants to pull Bemmz out of it, but Bemmz does come out and still finds its way back. I thought for a second Kv1 got exactly what he wanted. Recovery was there. Kv1, interesting shot. Is that in? This is one of those side swipe shots. It's not often in regular Rocket League 1v1 do you see somebody shoot with a jump right as they get the reset. In side swipe, it gives you extra power. Side swipe being the Rocket League game made for mobile that's just like a left to right scroller. But you can get special power by jumping off the ball like that. Kv1 showing that it's viable in the main Rocket League game as well. Kv1 double jump that is pre-jumped by Bemmz. Able to push it back down to the ground. Kv1 stays in control of the ball. And Bemmz is playing off pads now. Decides to turn and immediately challenge, and Kv1 doesn't just want to score his 7th goal for free. He wants to score it in style. So he lobs the ball up to the back wall and doubles it in. Technically giving a window for Bemmz to get back, but you're Kv1. There was never a chance he was going to miss those. Kv1. Air dribble attack on the near post. Bemmz able to stop the first, but can he keep Kv1 out from the follow-up? He cannot. Kv1 had 5 straight, and then I think Bemmz had 3 straight, right? To make it 5-3. And now Kv1 3 straight. The back and forth has come in waves in this first game. Still 2 minutes. Still not impossible for Bemmz to find his stride. We've said it a million times before, but Kv1 can be one of the tougher players to go down on a deficit on because he's so clean on the kickoff. Kickoffs are what fuel late comebacks, especially with as little time is on the clock as was right now. So when you're playing against Kv1, it's like at best you're going to be able to neutralize the kickoffs. You're not going to be able to take them over. Oh, Kv1 missed just barely wide. That's what he's going to have to do. He is going to have to completely take over on the kickoff late in this game. Kv1 wave dashing out of his own corner. Bemmz able to redirect this one. Kv1 sends it to the ceiling and can't follow it up, but he has Bemmz on low boost. He's got him there a ton of times now. 10-3. Running the score up is Kv1. How do you kick off like Kv1? Well, he is just one of the cleanest, consistent, standard kickoffs. There's lots of players who dominate the 1v1 kickoff game who mix it up a ton. They have wave dash kickoffs and standard and delay. You know, they just do a great job of bringing a wide variety. Kv1 is just a robot trained to hit the absolute perfect standard kickoff. And he forces perfection out of you. And what really Bemmz should be doing is mixing it up himself. If you try and just play the standard kickoff game with Kv1, I think you're just going to lose. You have to do some delays, do some wave dashes, maybe throw in a fake or two, which we haven't really seen Bemmz do, because it's just a losing battle to take Kv1 on in a straight-up standard kickoff face-off. Bemmz, high air dribble. Cut off, and Kv1 going to get an 11th. It was handed to him for free. He was just stalling in the midfield, messing around, and still able to get his 11th goal. Yeah, overlay looks sick. Yeah, I saw somebody said they liked the old overlay. I think the new one's an improvement. It's nice of you to say you liked the old overlay. I do appreciate that, because the old overlay was me hopping into an image editor for 5 minutes, creating a slightly black overlay and then throwing some colors of some names over the top of it. It was just me getting basically the fastest answer I could, and the fact that you enjoyed it means a lot to me. You prefer the older? Is that? I wonder if you guys are just nostalgic. Game number 1 going to Kv1. Game number 2. Bemmz and Kv1. You have people in chat saying, are we going to play the next 2 games the way Kv1 played that first game? And Kv1 almost made them look extra right. If you got a little bit more power on that flick, I think the doom and gloomers for Bemmz would have been right back out. But gets a soft touch, and it will be a Bemmz first goal. Bemmz is a more than capable 1v1 player. I think you'll see that as time goes on. Kv1 has a tendency to blow out games, and it has to do with his dominant kickoff. I don't know if I have the stats. Dr. Daring, PhD, might actually have the stats. A guy who has a ton of matchup history. I don't think he has game history, though, for game scores. But it wouldn't surprise me if Kv1 has the most double-digit wins or close to double-digit wins of anybody because he'll just play a game and all of a sudden it's 13-2 because he's kickoffed straight into your net 11 straight times, and it's like, wow. But then the next game, if you're able to neutralize his kickoff, then he doesn't run up the scoreline again. Kv1 from the midfield, resets. Oh, it actually ends up being a goal. He threatened this wave dash shot. I don't think he got much of a last touch. We'll get to see on the replay where it goes slow-mo. Yeah, so he did get just enough. I think he could have gotten away with nothing, though. Would have still bounced in behind Bemmz. Spamming Ks is laughing in Portuguese, right? Is all Ks laughing in Portuguese? I think it is. Yeah, okay. Wait, JA, that's laughing in Spanish. But all Ks is laughing in Portuguese. Which... I wonder what a K sound like. That's just interesting. Oh, it sounds like CA, 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 CA. Gotcha. Bemmz mixing up the pace of that carry. Thought maybe he could get Kv1 out of position in net, but Kv1 able to cover the low play. Bemmz will take Kv1 off the map. So when Bemmz has all the field in front of him, what does he do? Kv1 is one to try and challenge as early as possible. So even, you know, Kv1 is not going to fully dive all the way to the back wall of Bemmz, which is where he was when he started that possession. But you see he turns to shadow and immediately backflips. You know, he's only pretending to not put pressure on the ball. He's not going to follow you and shadow back to the net. He wants to make a challenge, and he'll do it as soon as he feels like he can get away with it. Bemmz is going to stop this air dribble by intercepting it high, and Kv1's deciding to stay down on the ground. He had to go up. I don't know what he was hoping for when he didn't follow this one up. Bemmz lobs it to the back wall. I mean, I guess he was hoping that Bemmz was going to be a little bit slower, but it felt like try and aerial it in the air. If you miss, you're getting scored on anyways. 2-2 halfway through the game. Kv1 thinks he sees a window to just arc a front flip over the top of Bemmz. Bemmz is quick off the back wall to stop this air dribble. Now deep in the blue half with zero. No choice but to leave. Kv1 to the air over the top of Bemmz. Can he use the last bit of boost to get around for the double? He can't. He needed probably a good amount more. I'm not even sure if he'd be able to do it with 100 just because his momentum was too much away. Look at this shot. It's Kv1, the scoop, and makes the angle available that Bemmz did not think possible. He's standing here right next to Kv1, swings around into the corner, and before he knows it, shot is in the far post, and he cannot keep it out. Kv1 dunking Bemmz and able to slot another shot just inside the post. Bemmz was doing a good job after kickoffs of popping the ball early because he knows Kv1's challenging, but now he's been tricked into thinking that he has time against Kv1. Kv1 always wants to come and challenge. Chat, by the way, it is English only here. I think in general, if you want to like laugh in another language, like all Ks, like we understand that. Basically, we understand it. The reason why we don't allow other languages is because we don't understand them. Therefore, we can't moderate them. But all Ks or something like that, that's laughing. We understand that. So, you know, that's allowed. But if you speak a sentence or something in Portuguese that we don't know what you're saying, we just have to not allow it. Bemmz, kickoff goal, direct kickoff goal. Talking about how you have to equalize the kickoff against Kv1. He's trying to push this one right. Talk about the fact that Kv1 goes standard. That was definitely not a standard approach. Going to the kickoff at the diagonal and then trying to push around is certainly a modification to the goal side kickoff that we refer to as, the more standard kickoff. Kv1 gonna flick this one crossbar down. This is a standard kickoff that he wins and secures. Kv1 chipping this down to the ground. The musty! Another kickoff goal. This one, Kv1 does in style, though, as he gets first possession and launches the flick in just under 100 km/h. He has extended the lead. I believe it was tied 4s even. Moments ago, it was close. And this is what Kv1 can do to you. You could be playing a close game with him, and then before you know it, in the last 40 seconds, it becomes a 7-goal game as he slots kickoff after kickoff into your net. That touch, though, is a bit dangerous. Bemmz got a really smooth catch. Almost able to bring it back to net in time. This net is open. Bemmz launched it into the air and gave Kv1 an opportunity to recover and make the save. And that was a kind of possession that Bemmz had to score on. I think he still might know Kv1, even with 0, finds enough height to stop that shot. And Bemmz finally will get the 5th. 24 seconds now. Will we see any kickoff shenanigans from Bemmz, who has kept it very, very tame in the match so far? This is going to be just another standard kickoff. Bemmz' faith in his ability to match Kv1. This low 50 is going to result in his favor, but right now Kv1 has the benefit of any shot that takes time could be enough to keep him in this game, and he's jumped over the top of Bemmz' bump. And it's going to be just that. Kv1 gets the save, escapes the blue half, and even if it's brought back to his net, he has won this one. So 2 in a row for the final boss, as his own name says on screen. Trying to show that it's not easy to take him down. Finally getting to play on South American servers. He almost never gets to when playing on the stream, but right now, he's looking like a beast. Game number 3, Kv1. Can he get 3 straight against the club? By the way, who has the club picked up? The club is no longer the club. It is Kaio, right? Is it Kaio, Bemmz, and Astromik? But it's not the club. It's Ninjas. That's right. Ninjas in Pajamas. That's right. The very exciting new squad. Kv1 ceiling reset, sees Bemmz electing to make an early challenge, and as soon as Bemmz is off the ground, Kv1 uses the flip to make his trajectory a completely incorrect one. He is nowhere close to intercepting that. Kv1 is going to mix up the kickoff. Fake kickoff from him, and he's going to be forced into his own net. And Bemmz, great play to not rush and take a shot on Kv1. Instead, just walk it right onto the goal line, and chances are he's going to be able to keep that 50 from escaping. Who does Kv1 play for at the moment? Kv1 plays for Team Secret. Team Secret finished 4th the previous major, and I believe made no changes. Maybe Jack can correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say Team Secret is the same Team Secret they were, which is Kv1, Knight, and who am I not thinking of? Sad, that's right, yes. Of course. Bemmz holding a lead into the first couple minutes. Impressive carry as he doubles off the ceiling, but really very threatening. Kv1 slowly trying to work. Oh, he just got an own goal! Kv1! This was a 5-head play. He bounces the ball straight up, and then instead of going for the ball, he just goes for Bemmz and forces Bemmz into a different angle, which ends up own goaling instead of clearing the ball. Kv1 playing on another plane right now. Bemmz, high dribble, ceiling reset. Kv1 gets to wait on the goal line, knowing that that ball has a far way to fall. Ooh, Kv1 finally punished for his very aggressive defensive style. I mean, he's been punished a few times, but he's been shadowing and then backflipping early in dribbles. Bemmz recognized that, flicks over it. Kv1, nice fake and delay off the first opportunity he was given. Let Bemmz flip past the ball, then collect it and flick, and Bemmz used up the little boost he did have on that previous attempt, so not enough to intercept that shot. Kv1, how many 50s can he try and win the midfield before he gets his possession? Bemmz gets just enough to prevent Kv1 from scoring, and now he's going to have to play out of net with just a couple pads, and Kv1's dribble is very poor. Bemmz might even have a chance. Kv1 lands awkwardly on the post. Bemmz has a high ball that Kv1 can't reach. Can't make anything out of it. Missed the boost grab. Or did he get it afterwards? I think he still might have gotten it. Kv1, you guys can see on your screen, yeah, Kv1 low. Kv1 dribble from his back right corner. No reset, just goes to the ground. Bemmz has the read. This time ceiling resets. Oh, Kv1, was he trying to pogo there? I don't even think that pogo would have been on target, though. He would have just pogoed it into the corner the way he set it up. Smooth catch. Could not transition the ball to the ground in time for the low 50. Which is what he's trying to do as soon as he saw Bemmz coming to make a play. Credit to Bemmz for getting there in such a short amount of time. Bemmz backflipping out of this touch. Kv1 lobs one towards the orange net. Bemmz picking up a pad and shifting back instead of going at Kv1. I think what Kv1, or what Bemmz probably needed to do, was try and close the distance, but it's so tough. I mean, going at Kv1 in the corner with zero boost, even if he does get a decent challenge, the chances that he recovers from that and continues to cover the net on the follow-up is pretty low. So he decides the best chance is just picking up a couple pads and hoping Kv1 does not place perfectly, but he was wrong. Bemmz attacking for the ceiling. Needs a goal bad in the next minutes to try and force an overtime, get his first game win against the final boss, and just on the wrong side of that pinch. Kv1 will take to the air, looking for the top left. Bemmz able to save it, and this is going to be a really good opportunity for Bemmz. Will it be the last great opportunity? It's a smart play and a great recognition of the pattern of challenges that Kv1 has done all game. Sure, he's on zero boost. Sure, he's recovering. He wants to challenge. He wants to come meet you as soon as he feels it's possible. And so he turns in, and all Bemmz has to do is double jump to pop the ball, and it rolls in to tie the game. Kv1 now. Smooth collection, 100 to work with. Reset. Bemmz makes sure to pinch it off the post. Decides to throw on the brakes and not chase Kv1 to the corner. Lets Kv1 get the carry and a really clean dunk. Kv1 forced to flip back and pinch the ball away. 17 seconds. Oh, not a great touch from Kv1. Launched this one to the skies. Should be able to get a long shot, but I imagine this will lead. Maybe not. Kv1 did a good job placing it strong and not letting Bemmz get a possession. He is going to let the ball hit the ground with zero boost. Keeping that up certainly would have favored Bemmz, who had just reset and grabbed 100. Bemmz, a direct kickoff goal to win. Hey, that... Oh, no. Oh, it is. That's not a bad way to take Kv1 down and show that you can hang in the match. Beat him on a straight standard kickoff directly into the net for his first game win. Game number 4. Can Bemmz turn it around? Or will Kv1 finish what he started in the first couple games? He is going to score first. As this ball pops off the side wall. Perfect bounce. Bemmz was approaching it. Maybe expecting to be able to make a play on a bounce different than the one that actually happened. Because considering he had the read on where that ball was headed, no business approaching Kv1. One demo him at the midfield. Another demo as he double jumps for a shot. Will he get 3 in a row? Oh no, he flicks to the moon instead. Almost literally the moon up here on this map. See it? The top right. Kv1, the bounce dribble approaching the nets with Bemmz already turned to shadow and actually shadowing off with just pads. You see he turns out to that pad out more in the midfield, and that leads to this angle and the third pad as well. All of them are sacrificing what would have been a better position to prep for Kv1's shot in order to have just a bit more boost. Kv1 flick. Oh, actually missed high. Should be able to follow it up though. The car is clean. Both these guys had the same exact car. Obviously, they're playing on different teams. But in the lobby, when they were just showing their cars, I think on the blue team, they just had the same exact one. So is this becoming a trend? There is a color setup that is definitely known to be the Middle East Fennec. So they're going to start being a South American Fennec. Kv1 back to the midfield. So many different times he's been able to put Bemmz on pads, having to path around in his half to pick up the scraps that Kv1 has left him. And far too often, he has been unable to pick up those pads and make anything out of it. Kv1 power shot to start this possession. Another power shot way too high though. Bemmz doesn't even entertain the idea of trying to save it. Could not collect the ball before Kv1's challenge. You see him grabbing the midfield 100, trying to get a couple soft touches to get the dribble started, and Kv1 was there before it ever happened, but Bemmz able to save the air dribble and get a second goal. Slowly working his way back. Ooh, wow, Bemmz actually found a shot. I was like not expecting this to go in. Bemmz a kickoff win, important. I thought just lobbing a first shot, something that was going to start a longer possession, but finds just the right arc to keep Kv1 from being able to get there. Kv1 first save, second save. Somehow kept the follow-up out. Bemmz Pinching the ball to the corner. His first touch is actually somewhat slow. It's going to make it possible for Kv1 to get the save. Kv1 does not. This might be 4 straight. This might be 4 straight for Bemmz, bringing the game back to tie. Yeah, he absolutely did yam on Kv1. You're right. Maybe that's why he played it a bit slower, so he could just dunk it right in his face. Direct kickoff win. Bemmz up 5-4 now. Kv1's air dribble stopped on the first attempt. Follow-up not there either. Kv1 forced to drop this ball in the corner. And Bemmz trying to backflip in. He's a look to. Some kind of reverse touch. Kv1, the whole field in front of him. The lob a flick to the backboard. Bemmz looking to make Kv1 feel his presence as he tries to collect the ball in the midfield. Wants to let Kv1 know he's not going to get a couple free touches, that Bemmz will be there if he ever messes up. But Kv1 steals the ball away in the blue half and launches it directly towards the net. That dribble setup was not going anywhere with Kv1 there. Oh, missed this touch. And I don't think he did enough. Yeah, unless Bemmz really was convinced that touch was going to happen and backflipped away or something. But Bemmz was hanging out, ready to retake the lead. Bemmz in his net with 0. Working off of the pads that Kv1 leaves him, but he got 100 right as Kv1 drove over that corner. Don't want to play the back and forth too fast. You'll see a lot of times in 1v1, the ball will travel into the corners of the player that is defending, you know, the 2 different corners. And if the cadence of it is somewhat slow, you can do it such that you'll show up in the other corner, steal it, show up in the other corner, steal it, and basically constantly keep the defender starved out. But if you play it very, very fast, you can steal one, steal the other, and then be back before, you know, the original one ever even shows up. And right now, Kv1, he has really nothing he can do here. All the way in his own half with the clock winding down. Bemmz is going to be a wall that he can't get past and dunk it in for a 7th goal. It's going to be Bemmz forcing Game 5 in this matchup against Kv1. Everyone talking about GG's after the first game because Kv1 won like 11-4 or something wild like that. But Bemmz was never out of it, and it seems like he knew, as he'll send this one to Game 5. Game 5. Bemmz and Kv1. Who is going to be potentially having an argument for the best South American 1v1 player? We say because the other contenders are not in North America, although Wisty could definitely have an argument as well, so credit to Wisty. Maybe we'll need to get Wisty versus the winner of this match to really see. But I'm excited to see more players in the 1v1 scene. I think before Kv1 really crossed the borders and showed that South America could hang even on 150 ping, I feel like there wasn't a ton of top-level South American, you know, like approaching for best in the world type 1v1ers, which Kv1 definitely for a time was doing, and Yan is certainly doing now. And I think there's probably even more that we just haven't gotten the insight to. Maybe just the English-speaking community, maybe all the Portuguese-speaking community knows they've got tons of 1v1 talent following up these more notable ones in the players, or at least the players who speak English, or the audience who speaks English. Oh, Kv1 really wanted the demo there. Instead, just flops over the top of Bemmz. Bemmz gonna get a goal. Bemmz 3-0. 1 minute in to game 5. Bemmz forcing Kv1 up the wall just a little bit extra as he swings around in the corner. Kv1 does not want to go up out of the play there, but his other option is to stay down and get deleted, so elects to stay alive just a little bit longer, and it doesn't end up mattering. Bemmz still gets the goal. Kv1, the reset, the shot to start him off in this game number 5. Not a bad way to break the ice. Kv1 had been attacking on the ground, trying to play so safe, but his back was finally against the wall. He needed offense, and he needed it right now, and he does it in spectacular fashion. Will we see him continue to play the aerial game? We go back to the ground. This air dribble. Bump on Bemmz. It'll be a goal. Second for Bemmz. Or sorry, second for Kv1. On his way back, Bemmz had been pre-jumping these dribbles earlier and tried to go up over the top of this one. He actually went so high, he was barely going to get a touch on the ball. Kv1 didn't demo him, but still, Kv1 was able to delete him. When are we getting Card back? We'll get Card back on. I think we have Card on the friends list, so I imagine Card will be interested in playing matches in the future. Bemmz, great save. I think that was just barely off target. Kv1 looking for a top left corner. Bemmz, unfortunately, getting too strong of a touch. That's actually a pretty nice setup for himself, though. Good recovery after getting bumped off of his line. Smooth catch, and what an interception. Able to read Kv1 like an absolute book. The soft touch, though, actually makes it possible. He does still score. He is off the wall before Kv1 has even chipped it up to him, and able to finish it off with the feathery soft touch. Kv1 kickoff win instead of directly to the net, this time to the side wall. Lean back reset, takes it to the ground. Bemmz just goes flying off. Kv1 has to be noticing that this aerial game is working for him. He's always had the aerial ability. He's just been playing a more grounded attack the past couple games. Maybe he's recognized the wall to air dribble is the way to go. Kv1 electing to clear the ball onto the orange back wall at the cost of all the boost he has, which means he is going to be forced back into net, and Bemmz tried to get him right back. He saw chat die of cringe, and he wanted chat to die of cringe for him as well, but it's not going to happen. Kv1, the anti-cringe this time, is up over the top of the bump. Has tied the game and is actually going to take the lead with a direct kickoff. Off the wall and in. Kv1 will do this to you. Is there a lives of cringe for any time somebody's able to dodge the air dribble bump? Bemmz backing off, trying to save this with as soft a touch as possible to try and take control of it, and instead he rolls it right into Kv1, who guides it up the wall and through the bump. I think he got bumped away to start that, but he uses a bit of boost and flips right back to get the 6th goal. Someone just reversed dies of cringe, so he gets back up after dying. That's pretty good. Ooh, Bemmz. A little desperation here at the end of the match. Maybe could feel the win in his hands at the earlier parts of this game, and now wants that back as he plays overly aggressive on Kv1 at the midfield. And, oh, Kv1 can do this to you. Another kickoff goal, 8-4. This game was being won by Bemmz, and now Kv1 is trying to make it look like it was a foregone conclusion that he was going to win. Lives of Based? Is that emo already? Okay, gonna be able to look up Lives of Based. Bemmz needs 4 goals in about a minute, and he's got one of them. 3 goals in a minute, fit 13 is nothing. If he didn't get this one soon, though, he would need to start thinking about time a bit more. Right now, he's in good shape. Of course, a few kickoff wins will be necessary. Kv1, wall to air dribble. He's looked lethal on these off the kickoffs. He's going to rush the ball to net with the flip. He's not able to steal the boost from Bemmz. So Bemmz now back the other way. Can he make his way back into this game in style? No, he loses control of the ball as he gets the reset. And the counterattack for Kv1 will be a goal. 9-5. Now we get into pure kickoff territory. It's going to have to be a perfect kickoff performance in the final 40 seconds. And the air dribble bump will be the start. Kv1, who was aware of the fact that Bemmz was going to need a perfect set of kickoffs to come back, decides to turn and fake as a way to prevent that from happening, but actually just plays right into Bemmz' hands, who is now within 3. Kv1 shadowing Bemmz as he takes it straight down the center of the field. Another air dribble bump. He's going to air dribble bump his way all the way back into the game. 41 boosts to work with, and he just is in no rush as he slowly works it down the field and jumps on the top of Kv1. Demo. Bemmz should be able to get an 8th. Goal line 50. Ooh, Kv1 stops him from doing so. Bemmz needed that bad. In fact, Kv1 is escaping and maybe getting a 10th goal. 10-7. That likely does it. I don't think we're going to see 3 straight goals for Bemmz. Kv1 not messing around with any fakes anymore. He's just going to go to the kickoff and end the series. Not a bad performance from Bemmz, especially considering what almost was. Kv1 was very close to running away with it, but it will just be a Game 5 win for Kv1. A good debut on my stream, at least, from Bemmz. Hopefully we get to see more out of him in the future whenever we get to do South American games. GG's. The win goes to Kv1.